Welcome to the Gyrl podcast, the show where purpose meets inspiration. Each week, I sit down with incredible individuals who open up about their real life journeys, the wins, the setbacks, and the lessons in between. Whether you're navigating career moves, entrepreneurship, or personal growth, you're in the right place. I'm Kyra Mitchell-Lewis, your host, and I'm so glad you're here. Let's grow up together. All right, happy Thursday, everyone. I hope you all are having an amazing week. Hope things are just looking up super positively for you all this week. What are we talking about today? All right, we're talking about how to be aligned and awakened with my guest, Alexa Darrin. She is a spiritual coach and psychic medium who helps women uncover their life purpose and step into deeper energetic alignment. With expertise in the Akashic Records and intuitive guidance, she empowers her clients to release blocks, heal old patterns, and embrace clarity about who they are meant to be. She's based in California and she blends spirituality, intuition, and coaching to guide women toward living fully in their truth. So let's go ahead and grab Alexa. All right, welcome back. Let's welcome Alexa to the show. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Fantastic. Thank you for being here. All right. Well, I'm excited to get started with this conversation. So, why don't we just dive in with you telling everyone listening or watching who you are and what inspired you to step into your work as a spiritual coach and a psychic medium?
Yeah, so I am an Akashic channel and psychic medium and I guess spiritual mentor. And I came to this work later on in life. Like I say that I was living a happy muggle life for, for the first few decades of my life and had a spiritual awakening in my late 30s where my gifts opened up.
Mm.
And I had been working in corporate as a professional creative for over a decade and was sort of doing this on the side and then ended up it becoming the next phase of my life purpose.
Awesome. I love that. Well, let's dive in deeper. So you specialize in one in Akashic Records.
Yeah.
So for those who may be unfamiliar, can you talk about like what are they and how can they help us discover life purpose?
Yeah, so the Akashic Records, they're like an energetic library of everything that's ever happened, every choice that your soul has made, contains your soul's blueprint. And you can kind of think about it like it's in the quantum field, essentially. So when we talk about accessing all the possibilities, if you dove into that at all, might be familiar with that. So it exists at like the fifth dimension in the quantum field, and so working with that, we can understand who we are on the soul level, where we came from, what our gifts and our strengths and life lessons are, and how to use that to make decisions moving forward.
Okay, cool. And so when you are working with your clients, what do you think, what role does like having energetic alignment play in creating like the lives that we want? Because of course, people always say that, I want this life or I want to live my best life and purpose. And, how does the work that you do, help people with that alignment into actually being able to create the life they truly want to live?
Yeah. So one thing I talk about a lot is that the energy behind your actions informs the outcome a lot more than the actual action itself. So two people can do the exact same thing, but if the
Mm-hmm.
energy behind it is different, they're going to get different outcomes. So you can think about it like if you're going to decide to take an action in your to like build your business and you're doing it from a place of like desperation or like I need this to happen, right? Then you're going to get more of that. Or you do something because you think that you have to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obligation. You're going to attract more obligation in your life. But if you take that action from a place of, well, you know what? I feel like this is going to teach me something new and this feels expansive or this feels like more free, then you'll attract more of that freedom. So often we do things from an energy that we don't want more of. And then we get that and we wonder, like, what happened? I did the thing, right?
Right, right. And I guess it's like, what's a way people can, I guess, sort of avoid that, right? Because sometimes people feel like, they say yes or do things out, like you said, out of desperation. What's a way to like I guess, calm yourself and listen to your intuition and trust it to make a decision based on maybe one that doesn't say, like you said, oh, I'm gonna, I don't know, I'm just throwing the first thing that comes to mind. Oh, I'm gonna take this project because I think I need to make money, but I really don't want this project, but I'm gonna take it because I need to make money. But what is a way when people can truly say, like, listen to that intuition and say, like, this really isn't the best fit potentially for me. So how do they, I don't know. I guess, is it confused? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I mean, the first step is awareness, right? Like,
Yeah.
being in like, giving yourself a moment to pause and just being
Mhm,
really honest
mhm,
about where you are coming from when you make these decisions. Because often we are not honest with ourselves about
mm,
why we are making a decision. And we think that it's the good thing to do. Like, that's what's acceptable. That's what's going to make people like us. That's what's going to give us the
mhm,
success, right? We tell ourselves these stories. And so, if you can start to pause and really like reflect on, okay, I'm going to make this decision to do this, but why? Why do I feel like this is the best decision?
mhm,
And just sitting with that. And I think once you start to examine, okay, like, what do I feel like is the energy in my body now when I sort of play around with the idea of making this decision? You know, if you're
mm,
thinking about, okay, I'm going to quit my job versus stick it out or whatever, like, I
mhm,
think thinking about the energy behind that, what beliefs are sort of informing that decision,
mhm.
and really being honest about, okay, whether or not that's actually true or whether that's a story that you're telling yourself about what is true.
Right. Yeah. No, I thank you for walking through that because I think a lot of times people will be like, "Yeah, but, you know, da 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 da," da, and I have to do this. But I think, like you said, it is being able to tell ourselves the truth, right? And not just going with like whatever the sort of facade is that we or the thing that we make up in our mind that we think we have to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Can you share a story from work that you've done where you connecting with the records or energy alignment created a breakthrough for someone?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. I feel like when you connect with your soul's blueprint and you learn about your core sort of energetic gifts and makeup, it can be really enlightening. Like, so I have a client who's in one of my 3-month containers, and her like the energy of her soul is very playful and creative and joyful and here to experience life. But because of her upbringing and things in this life that were actually set off by some karmic complexes in past lives, she's had to
Mhm,
take on a ton of responsibility, like for her family. And she's had all this heaviness in this life and in a few past lives that she hasn't been able to step into that play or that creativity. And so by looking at that and being able to release some of the karmic complexes that you no longer need to carry, you can then reconnect with that energy of who you are. So now she's getting to start to explore what it means to be playful, what it means to be creative.
mhm,
And she's feeling so lit up because she had never given herself that permission before because she thought that she had to be the responsible one. She had to make
mhm,
these sacrifices. This was the path of success when
mhm.
really that was someone else's version of success and what you should
Right,
what you should do.
right, right. Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. And so I know, you work with a lot of women and, what can you talk about, women. We often sometimes, doubt or fear when it comes to trusting our own intuition, right? Like, like you hear it, I mean, it comes to you, you get it, however you receive that, and you know the thing to do. But then people, immediately are met with doubt or fear. How do you help clients move past that?
Yeah, so a couple things. I think the first thing is working on getting your energy kind of clean and clear because the first thing is we pick up a lot of we've been talking about these limiting beliefs, societal conditioning, all these experiences that stay in our energy and these voices of what we should do, right? That
Mhm,
then can cloud our intuition. And so the first thing that I do with clients is not only to release the past life blocks and restrictions that are in our energy, clouding up things and you're leaking energy from different chakras, but also learning then to release all those things in your energy field that are not yours. And
mhm,
so we do that in the records. And then I mean, it really is honestly like shadow work and working with your shadow. Like you will never
Mhm.
hear your intuition clearly until you can learn to understand the difference between your own truth, like what is actually true and what you have been telling yourself is true to keep yourself
Mhm.
safe or to be loved, right?
Mm.
And so that kind of like we were talking about earlier with the energy behind your action, it's getting really honest and really
Mhm.
curious about those feelings and where they're coming from. Like where is that fear? What is that fear actually trying to tell you?
Mhm.
What is that doubt trying to tell you? What's underneath that? And then you can start to see, okay, now is that mine or is that something that my parents gave me or that I
Mm.
picked up
Mhm.
somewhere else? Because until you can start to do that, like that shadow is going to be interfering with your sort of soul signal because
Mhm.
your intuition often wants to tell you to do something that maybe defies logic or is going to be the path towards expansion. And so if your intuition is fighting against what you
Mhm.
think that you should do based on what would make you a good person or what would make you successful, keep you
Mhm.
safe, they're just going to keep fighting. Right. And so
Right.
you have
Right.
to be able to understand that and accept all of that to be able to discern the difference between the two.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think that's really great advice. Great advice. Can you talk about some of the tools that you've created, resources that you've created that help, and also what type of programs do you offer for people who might be interested in going on this journey with you?
Yeah. So the easiest way to work with me and sort of an entry point for a lot of people is through just like an Akashic record, like single session. So where I channel your soul's blueprint is one, also your manifesting blueprint, because we're all designed to manifest in a unique way. There's sort of 7 main factors that I look at in the Akashic Records. So we can create whatever we want, but we can create it a lot more easily and joyfully if we align that with our manifesting blueprint. And then also, like a soul clearing. So those are some ways that, I can work with clients to have them get an experience in their Akashic Record and what that's like. But I also work with clients in longer term mentorships because it takes embodiment, right, to
Mhm.
change and to really learn how to listen to your intuition, how to work
Mhm.
and learn to love and integrate your shadow, and to really start to shift your state. And so we use the Akashic records as an entry point, and then I work with clients then, 3, 6, or a year, long in
Mhm.
that. So some of the tools, I am someone who is I'm very practical, I'm very grounded psychic.
Mhm.
So I have methods and frameworks that I like to use, and I want to make sure that the work that we're doing is actually something that you can implement in your life and see
Mhm.
results, right? And we don't just like talk about who you are on the soul level and oh, isn't that cool, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what are the actual things I can do on the daily? And something that's not complicated that can fit into your
Right.
day. And
Yeah.
so I created my own tapping method then to support the work that I do leading my clients are mostly high achieving type A go-getters, like
Mhm.
logic, right? They've got that nailed. And then, but then learning how to pair that with becoming more magnetic and creative and getting more in
Mhm.
flow. And so I use a mix of tapping with my method that supports the work that we do. And then also, I work with my clients on learning to drop into alpha brainwave states.
Mm.
So if you want to access your intuition, but you're
Mhm.
going, going, going all the time, right? You're like
Mhm. Mhm.
revving. It's going to be harder to hear it because your brain is going into more like high beta brain waves. But when you learn to slow things down and drop into alpha brain waves, that's where your intuition is. That's where your creativity is. If you've heard of things like flow states, right?
Mhm.
That's where like manifestation is more easy. And so, yeah, if you're like used to go, 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 you're not really in that very much.
Mhm. Right,
So
right.
yeah, so I created my own sort of alpha brainwave entrainment recordings that have some other kind of things in there, right, to help you to train your brain to relax a little bit more and to use that in the morning or throughout the day if necessary, then to be able just to drop down into those more flowy states if you feel like
Mhm.
you're overwrapped, right? So we use that paired with the work that we do in the Akashic records and shadow work to really I guide my clients to then understand who they are on the soul level and to integrate all parts of them, right? To release the judgment of the perfectionism, the people pleasing, of the things that you feel like are less desirable about yourselves that you shove down, your anger, your frustration,
Mhm.
how to work with it instead of trying to like ignore it or just sort of high vibe your way through it.
Right, right. Awesome. How do you stay grounded, while you're doing this work?
Well, I have a 3.5-year-old. And so
Mhm.
I have to work I have to work on my quite a bit. And all these tools I created for myself first because
Mhm.
because I am like a type A
Mhm.
overachiever, perfectionist. And when you become a mom, like that's just not really an option for most
Mhm.
of your day. And going through home renovation and all the craziness that comes with just
Mhm.
life, right? And so I do the my alpha drop track like every morning. So I work out and then I do that so that I'm getting into like a more grounded, relaxed state. And I think meditation every day is like a great way to just kind of slow
Mhm.
down and to stay
Mhm.
grounded.
Awesome. Yeah. No, I love that. Now, for a woman who might be listening to us now and she's feeling disconnected from her purpose, what's the first step you would encourage her to take?
To play. I think that for with like purpose, often a lot of times we turn it into this like heavy, serious thing. Like, I gotta find my purpose. I
Mhm.
don't know what my purpose is, but really we all have the same purpose.
Mhm.
Our purpose is just to be the fullest expression of who we are, right? We are here to play and create and to be who we are
Mhm.
and to love and have experiences. So there's nothing that you came here to do that if you don't do, you're going to fail the test. Like, I got to
Right.
find this one thing. So
Mhm.
if you can sort of try to release that and take a deep breath and look back to childhood. So the things that you really loved and what lit you up.
Mhm.
And also looking to the challenges that you have overcome, because oftentimes the challenges we've overcome, we can then teach others how to overcome those challenges or use that as sort of insight into the lessons that we're meant to learn and how we can sort of use that to contribute to the world, to the community, to our families, whatever that is. But I think
Mhm.
releasing the seriousness around it and just allowing yourself space to just be creative and play and go out in nature and see what inspiration
Mhm.
strikes you.
Right. Okay. No, I think I agree with you. I always say, like, to me, I feel like most grounded, like doing things that feel, like, nostalgic to me, like, when I was a child, like, going back and digging into, like, I'm big on puzzles, I'm big on, like, coloring and, like, things that, I go and I'm like, you'll find me listening to records because I'm like, those are things from my childhood that I did with my parents, and that reminds me, and it's always, like, a way to, like, how to come back and, like, ground myself into, like, what is most important versus, like, all the hustle and bustle around you.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, so why don't you tell everybody where they can connect to you online and how they can, have a conversation with you.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram at Alexa Darrin, and my website is alexadarrin.com, where you can find out more about the work I do in the Akashic Records.
Awesome. All right, we're going to transition into three things with Alexa. You actually partially almost answered my first question, but these questions just help our audience get to know you a little bit better. My first one is a two-parter. Is how do you start and end the day?
Okay. Okay. I start the day out with working out and meditating, and I end the day. I love to read at the end of the day.
Awesome. I love that. All right. Number two is what's a goal or an intention that you've set for yourself?
Goal or intention that I've set for myself? Well, I am going to be writing a book next year, and so that's like I think a goal and intention. And then by the time this is out, I'll be launching my first group program, and so that is also something big coming in January of 2020.
Awesome. Love it. All right. And where are you currently finding inspiration?
Oh man, like everywhere. But I feel like I feel like I get inspired when I slow down. Like I think going
Mhm.
out in nature is a big place, I think, for inspiration. And I think just getting out of the normal routine, then I
Mhm.
get lots of inspiration from that. Yeah, shaking things up.
Awesome. I love that. Well, I just want to say before I let you go, I'm going to ask you one last question, but I just want to say thank you so much for sharing. I think that what you do, the work that you do is very it's important, and it's important for women to like we don't listen to our intuition and ourselves enough, right? And I think
Yeah.
that comes with like not really under like you said, like a lot of the work that you do helps people to truly understand and tap into how to hear your intuition versus just like, well, was that intuition or did I make that up? Or is that something I wanted it to be? So I think like what you're doing here is really an important work for helping women to create and live in the life that they want for themselves. So before I let you leave us, I'm going to ask you what are 3 things that you would like our audience to take away from our conversation today?
Well, I think the first one about purpose, right? About lightening up about it, that it's not this like thing that you have to find. It's just being the
Mhm,
fullest expression of yourself. I think that that's really important.
mm,
And I think that for intuition, one great tip to start strengthening your intuition is stop asking other people for their opinions about what you should do with your life, because that is giving away your power. And so that's like one easy thing that you can start implementing today is just to stop yourself from that,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then I think that the third thing is I'm being called to say, like, to not take things so seriously. So my guys are saying
Yeah.
is yet to use this as an invitation to, I think with intuition too, like to not be like feel the heaviness of it is just to follow the nudge and see what happens, especially with small things, and just to
Mhm,
make a game of it. Like, well, I wonder if this is true. Like, let's just see. Let me follow this nudge and see what happens, and
mhm,
have some detachment around it, and just to have it be like a little bit of a game to see what happens.
mhm. Awesome. I love those. Thank you so much. As I said before, Alexa, thank you so much. Good luck with your book. You can come back here when the book launches so that we can talk about that and we can share that message with this community as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me.
Awesome. Stay tuned, everyone. All right, welcome back, and let's thank Alexa again for joining us today. If you'd like to learn more about her, make sure you check out the links in the show notes. If you want to learn more about Glow Up Girl, you can head on over to glowupgirl.com and sign up for our newsletter to get tools, insights, and inspiration for your glow up journey. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are at Glow Up Girl, and wherever you might be listening, don't forget to rate, review, and share. It helps more women to find the show. And if you're sharing on social, make sure you tag us in anything that you share so we can cheer you on. All right. Last, if you are someone who's listening to podcasts and you're thinking to yourself, I am ready to get on the podcast, I'm ready to tell my story, but unfortunately, I'm not sure of how to pull all the things together into what my story is. I offer a great service through Glow Up Girl called Story Labs. It is where we take your personal story and turn it into purpose. So it's a one-on-one session. It's 2 hours. We talk. You talk. I listen. There is a a pre-work sheet that you can do that helps prepare for the session. But you get to talk, and then I take it and I sort of synthesize all that information into what that story should look like, what angle you should take when you're either pitching yourself for a podcast, pitching yourself for a speaking opportunity, if you're working on the About Us on your website page. And sometimes, you're very close to it. It's your story. And sometimes it can be hard to figure out like the right triggers to pull if it when it's so close to you. So make sure you head over and check that out, glowupgirl.com/storylabs. All right. Also, make sure you check out Studio Wonderwell, which is a place that I've created for creatives and business owners, who want to explore maybe custom systems, strategies, and just really so you have the time to focus on the things that matter most in your business, and you have someone else like me who can help you work out systems systems, help you work out marketing strategy, brand strategy, all those things. So head on over to hellowonderworld.com and check out the offering, the services there. All right. And last, if you're a brand or a business looking to partner with Glow Up Girl, please reach out at hello@glowupgirl.com. All right, that's everything, my friends. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your day again to spend some time and show up here and listen. So until next time, I will see you all next week. Until then, stay focused, fab, and glow up. Take care, everyone.